Hello, my name is Joan Landis, and I'm really happy to be with you again today. So the question is, what kind of parent do you want to be? That is a really good question. And part of our work here is to understand, how do we be an intentional parent and not just a reactive parent? How do we intentionally become better, more loving, more available, more supportive? How do we do that? So the first thing we want you to do is, start making a few lists or goals, right? Maybe it's just a short few goals. Now, if you have your values, if you've done your values work and you can tell me your top 5 values just like that, that may inform you about what kind of parent you want to be, right? Do you want to be the fun party parent? Do you want to be the parent, do you want to be the tiger mom that has really high achieving children? Do you want to be a very spiritual parent? Do you want to be, kind of a combination, just kind of, jack of all trades? There's advantages and disadvantages to every type of style. There's kind of 3 main styles of parenting, and one of them is the permissive parent. And that's basically says, whatever you want, if you want to do it, that's fine. And we have a lot of those since the 60s. I think some of the pop psych in the 60s kind of derailed a lot of parents about how to guide their children. And, children who have permissive parents often struggle with motivation and authority and, conformity to certain things. It's not all bad, but they do have more struggles with obedience and needing to do things at a certain time. And so that's the permissive parent style. Then there's the authoritarian parent style, and that's where the parent's word is law, and the child just needs to obey without question, and there can be a lot of shaming, there can be a lot of anger, there's a lot of fear involved, a lot of anxiety, and that's the authoritarian type of parenting style. If you grew up with that, that may be what feels comfortable to you, but there are disadvantages for the children in that situation also. That's not really the healthiest parenting style for the family. So the third one is what we call the authoritative parenting style. And that's where the parents definitely are the authority, right? But they don't demand compliance. The relationship is a little more collaborative, a little more warm, a little more understanding, a little more flexible. In the end, that parent still has good boundaries, but it's kind of my preferred metaphor is the iron hand and the velvet glove, right? And that there's ways that you can motivate your children, be with them, talk to them, that feels comfortable, but still has that good boundary there. And so, just think about those 3 styles. And I'm going to see if I can find an online assessment that maybe you could take to determine what kind of parenting style you have. But we want you to be a little more authoritative rather than authoritarian or permissive. Okay? The results for the children are much better if, yes, you are the authority, but there's some give and take and flexibility in how those things look day to day. So those are important things to think about. Another thing that I think, as you're thinking about what kind of parent do I want to be, it's kind of a fad right now, at least in the last 10 or so years, to praise your children a lot. Okay, this comes from B.F. Skinner in the 20s and his research on how to motivate or manipulate animals. And so the idea is, if we provide this positive reinforcement, that it'll make people do more for you. And it's not false. It's just limited in its ability to actually endure and create lasting relationships. So what happens when we praise our children too much is that they become what I call praise junkies, all right? And if they can become dependent on external validation in order to feel not just thrilled, but okay. So it's very much like kind of like drug addiction, that when they first get it, oh wow, this is a great thing. But if they have a constant flow of praise, then actually they kind of habituate to it, and it doesn't make them feel that spectacular. But then if it dries up, right, it's like, oh, life is bad. And so what happens is that if you are, as a parent, a praise junkie, you're creating praise junkies because you're praising them too much. You're kind of the praise pusher, right? What happens is that your children will habituate to it and go, oh, this is how real life is. Well, they get out in the real world and people aren't like that. And they're going to be shocked, maybe depressed, maybe anxious, because they are not getting this constant props and validation and feedback that you as a parent provided 24/7 at home. So one of the things that I encourage parents to do is to use praise judiciously. Yes, you will praise, but it certainly is not a steady stream. And more importantly, you want your children to learn to self-validate. So instead of saying, oh, Bobby, you did such a great job on that, you should say, wow, how do you feel? Or you should feel proud of yourself, or that kind of thing. Help them to generate it from inside. That helps them not to be praise junkies and looking for their fix on the outside, that they can learn to do it for themselves. And then if it's not there, they're much more resilient in the face of lack of praise or even opposition. So it creates children with more grit, right? If you're just constantly hovering over them, telling how great they are, giving everybody a trophy, it actually it disempowers your children. So just be judicious in your praise so that it actually means something and it doesn't kind of make your child dependent on it. All right, I hope this has been thought-provoking for you. Get on the forums and tell us, if you've been a praise junkie or if you actually needed more praise, and what kind of a style of parenting you have. Again, I'll see if I can get an online assessment for you to take and find out what your style is. So hope this has been great. We'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.